Alright, if you are new to the sport of distance running, one thing that I'm sure you're becoming accustomed to is the idea it can be hard to know how fast to run for each of your runs during the week. Maybe you're getting too tired too early, you think your fitness level is better than what it is. You need some cues, some guidance to make sure you're running at the appropriate pace for the appropriate session. Well, this video I'm going to offer you a few cues to make sure you're doing just that. Alright, in the average training program of most distance runners, you're not just going to see all easy runs or all hard runs and all racing. You're going to see a bit of a combination. So I wanted to offer some cues for your easy runs, your interval sessions, your threshold runs, and then your race pace. So each of those are going to require different expectations, different effort levels, and different speeds for you to run at. Each has an appropriate place, but if you do too much of one, you're either going to be not fit and fast and refined enough, or you're going to be too tired to be able to do that for a long period of time. So we've got to make sure we get that balance right. So let's start with the easy run. The easy run, I like to say it's the foundation of your training week. It's a chance just to turn your legs over, to build fitness, to get your body comfortable, just going and going and going. In an easy run, you want to be operating at about an effort level of 4 out of 10. If you're not 100% sure how fast a 4 out of 10 effort level should be, that is about a pace that you'd be so embarrassed to be caught running at by someone that you know. So if you're out for a run and you're feeling as though you wouldn't be embarrassed if you were caught running at that pace, chances are you're going too fast. So a lot of people, when they're new to the sport, they'll go out and they'll try and run at a pace which feels fairly comfortable because they're just not used to trying to monitor and adjust that pace. So if you're going out at an effort level that's faster than a 4 out of 10, chances are you're going to notice that before halfway through that run, maybe well before halfway through that run, you're feeling well and truly more tired than you should be. So if you go out at a 4 out of 10 and you get past halfway, even 3/4 of the way through a run, and you're desperate to pick it up, that's the part in your run where you're going to pick it up. If you start going too fast too early, you're just going to lose confidence because you're going to feel as though you can't run as far as what you probably think you should be. So as a start point, easy runs are done at a 4 out of 10 or a pace that you're embarrassed to be caught running at. Do not pick up that pace until later in the run when you're a little bit closer to home. The second session that is going to be a big part of your training program, if you're getting some guidance, is the interval running session. The interval running session is simply a combination of some faster running mixed in with some recovery. So if you're looking at a standard session or a pretty popular session, you might be looking at a 1 kilometer repeat effort. So if you're doing 6 to 8 times 1 kilometer, you'd be operating in those efforts at about a 10k PB pace. So if your PB for 10k is 40 minutes, you want to try and hit those 1 kilometer splits in about 4 minutes, assuming you're having about a 1 minute to a 90-second recovery. If you don't yet have a 10k PB and you're not 100% sure what that means, look at running at about a 6 or a 7 effort level out of 10. Just like those easier runs, you don't want to start off at a 9 or a 10 and get halfway through your session and realize, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to keep these under 5-minute Ks. You want to start off a little more conservatively. If you get through 3 or 4 of your 1k reps, feeling good, you're close to halfway through, you can pick it up to a little bit more. But we don't want to fall into the trap which so often new runners fall into, of going too hard, too early, and dying really quickly as a result. The next session, which is going to be a big popular part of your training program, or it should be, is the threshold run or the tempo run. It's a chance to go out and build your aerobic endurance. If you are not sure how fast to do this one, you're going to be operating at about a 6 out of 10 effort for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, again, this is a chance to practice running outside of your race pace. So if your 10k pace is 4 minutes per k, 40 minutes for a PB, you can operate at about a 4 minutes 10 to 4 minutes 15 per k for a 20 to 30 minute threshold run. That is about a 7 out of 10 effort. Like the other ones, let's not fall for the mistake of starting that first 10 minutes super hard because we're feeling good, feeling fresh, and dying really hard. We want to come home feeling stronger than what we started with. So even if you have to go out at a 4 minute 20 pace and pick it up after halfway, that's a better option for your confidence than it is to go out feeling super good, super early, and then dying hard in the latter stages of that tempo or threshold run. Lucky last, it is race day. Depending on the race that you're running is going to dictate the speed that you're running at. If you're running a 5k race, you're going to start off at about a 7 out of 10. And like the training sessions, we've practiced this now, you're going to have the opportunity to build that up after 3K if you're still feeling good. Otherwise, your goal is just to maintain it. With a 10K, you're going to want to start off at about a 6 out of 10 effort level. You should be feeling pretty good, pretty comfortable until about halfway. Then if you can maintain the speed that a 6 out of 10 effort level is in the early stages, you're still going to work hard, you're still going to be burning, and it's going to be a pretty good gauge as to what your 10K pace is. The further you go, the slower you want to start and build up through the latter stages of the race. My biggest tip, if you haven't picked up already, is make sure you're not going out too hard, too early, and dying in the latter stages of the race. You want to come home faster, because not only does it feel good to finish a race or a training session that way, but it builds your confidence in a big way. As you start to figure it out, as you start to practice and train more, you're going to get a bit more of a guide as to how fast those efforts are. But in the meantime, I hope that helps. If there's any other tips or strategies that help you, make sure you whack them in the comments below. Would really appreciate your likes, would really appreciate any comments, any support. Helps this channel reach more people. So guys, best of luck with your training, best of luck with your racing, and I can't wait to hear about how you are progressing in the comments below.